I wanna hold those coins. I wanna get those gains. Welcome everybody to another episode of Savage Crypto. Here with me, Suppoman, your favourite superhero of cryptocurrency. Today, I hope will be an unmissable episode, action-packed for your pleasure. In today's episode, I am going to be exposing you to an ICO that has literally just started. Basically, a load of people have been saying, giving me feedback, Superman, you're always showing me these ICOs right at the very end. So I am going to be showing you an ICO that has literally just gone live, that shows a lot of promise and is incredibly small cap. And then I am going to be telling you about what I'm going to be doing with some of my long-term coins. Am I going to be holding them or am I going to be selling them? I've had a lot of questions directed at me saying, Superman, look at the price of these coins that you have said are so good. What are you going to do about them? Are you going to keep them? They seem to be massive loss makers. So I am going to be telling you of my decisions, my final decisions on these coins in this episode. So if you are excited about what you're going to learn, then smash up the likes, give us a like spike in appreciation. It's really cold outside. I don't even want to go outside. In England, it's snowing bucket loads right now, and you just want to be in because it's just so cold. So smash up those likes, and also if you haven't yet subscribed to Team Suppoman, then make sure that you subscribe so you get a daily video and the best news and information and tips and analysis from the Suppoman on a daily basis. So, where do we start? Well, the market cap is still at roughly 450 billion, just a little bit above. Bitcoin has made a $200 increase. There are some green, quite a few reds as well. Quite a few cryptocurrencies have gone down. Just because something goes green doesn't mean, or Bitcoin anyway in particular, doesn't mean everything should literally follow. You know, some will follow based on the fact there's increased confidence and it's got something going for it, and others don't necessarily have any up-to-date news and won't necessarily be growing. So there's no real cause for concern, but it all is still a bit quiet on the Western front. So yesterday, the big flavour of the day was Mint Coin. This went up dramatically over the course of the last 48 hours. This has gone up amidst rumours of new team, new website, potential listings on, somebody said Binance. I can't imagine Binance would put this coin above all coins. But so Mint Coin was the flavour of the day yesterday, but I only really cover long-term holds. Don't really cover the short terms anymore. I used to once upon a time, but now I'm all about the long hold because these are small to medium-sized businesses that could do with your investment to deliver something incredible. So Mint Coin has unsurprisingly gone down today. They have got a new website. The website that was there yesterday was a pile of crap, to be fair. So I think that's had its day. But let's have a little bit of light-hearted fun. Walton Chain. Now, this is probably mid to low favourites of the RFID stroke supply chain stroke Internet of Things coins. My personal favourite is VeChain. I like Wabi as well. Walton is highly valued, but yesterday there was controversy. For their Valentine's Day special competition, they literally announced themselves as the winner. So they obviously had a pre-planned tweet that was meant to sound like it came from the winner. Oh my god, can't believe I've won. Thank you, Walton team. And actually quoting the congratulations to the winners, Walton's tweet there. So they basically, instead of it being a genuine winner, they kind of made themselves the winner. And this has caused a great deal of laughs, I suppose, but also quite a lot of outrage for the people who actually support Walton, because this gives an indication that all is not what it seems in cryptocurrency land when it comes to a cryptocurrency, and it starts to improve and increase in value. People want to have improved confidence day in, day out. They want to stay invested in a coin, and the last thing they want to see is anything that makes a coin look bad. That makes them want to sell. And so this was a bad thing to happen to Walton Chain. Now, I'm not personally in Walton. I have kind of traded it before, but I'm not in it for the long term. VeChain is actually the one that I'm in for the long term in this field, although it is interesting to see Walton versus VeChain. So anyway, yeah, so that's happened. Every YouTuber's covered it ad nauseum, so I won't cover it anymore. This really funny picture was made yesterday. It wasn't me that did it, but it's basically a complete piss take of WANchain. This new kind of logo, WhenChain, rebuilding the definition of soon. This was one of the funniest things that I have seen, and I actually think is perfection when it comes to cryptocurrency humor. So I thought I'd ask today, because the fact of the matter is that cryptocurrency at the moment appears to be going through a bit of a rough patch. It's pretty boring at the moment. And so I was asking, guys, given the rough patch, how do you feel about cryptocurrency, truly and honestly? Now, the majority still see it as a currency revolution. Something I strongly believe in as well, that this will start seeping into real life. There'll be real world use cases. That's essentially what ICOs and the current cryptocurrencies are out there doing, is proving use cases out there so that it can be adopted as currency later on, or at least be an addition to the fiat currency we have right now. Not necessarily a replacement as such, especially not in the kind of near future. So a lot of people still believing, despite the rough patch. And second most popular choice in this poll was love it as much as ever. Okay, so, the general sentiment is one of positivity. There are people that are disappointed, but only 4% out of nearly 4,000 votes say they hate the cryptocurrency market and think it's a load of rubbish. Okay, so it all seems to be like the faith is still there. The faith is still there. But I am looking forward to ClearPoll announcing their polling app. I've got the alpha. It's not bad. I'd expect it to be a bit better, but I'm sure that over time it will be a lot better. So let's move on to the first subject. Okay, so main feature, before I move on to the juicy stuff. So there is an ICO that's just recently started, and I have been talking about it, and given that I've spoken about Dent recently, this one also looks like it's got a very good solution for people who have data plans, and that is BIRDCHAIN. So BIRDCHAIN is essentially a D-app cryptocurrency. It's an app, basically. And at the moment, it's just literally started, just literally hot off the press, birdchain.io. And at the moment, they've got a 20% bonus, because a lot of people say, Superman, why do you always let us know about an ICO when it's about this stage? So I'm letting you know as early as possible, and there's a 20% bonus at this stage. But not only that, there's all this stuff. Now, you're probably saying, Superman, are you being paid? No, I'm not being paid. This is literally for community members. So if you're in the Suppoman community, you want a t-shirt, you want a gold coin or something, there is that ability to get that on top of, having some tokens. When I got involved in Ethos, one of the things I was really happy about is getting some merch. So with Ethos, I actually got a kind of commemorative coin, because I was one of the first and biggest investors in Ethos in the early stages. So a little bit of merch never goes awry. But in the absence of merch, let's talk about the actual opportunity, because merch is never the best reason. So, what is BIRDCHAIN? Okay, because you're probably thinking, right, is this some kind of ecosystem for birds? Is it an ecosystem for women? Is it a dating app? In the UK, we call women birds. Well, some of the kind of one of the colloquialisms is a little bit disrespectful. I personally don't use bird. But anyway, BIRDCHAIN, no. That's not what it's about. What it is about is you can sell, as a mobile user with a data plan, unused SMSs as part of your plan to business. Okay, now this is called application to person. Okay, so this is businesses sending, confirmation codes or registration codes or reminders to users. Okay, so like for instance, if you sign up on Coinbase, if you sign up on Binance or Buybox or any of those, you sometimes get one of those notifications that says, right, here's your confirmation code or your verification code. And that costs a business money. But the business classes it as A2P, which is application to person SMS. And it costs them a lot of money. You may not think it, but in a lot of parts of the world, it costs them a lot of money. So what people can do as part of their plan is sell, because in in many parts of the world, you actually have an unlimited amount of texts. Okay, so you can actually sell some of your texts over to a business so that they can use it for cheap to send these application to person SMSs to their customers. Okay, so really good use case, has mass market appeal because most people own a mobile. Even my son owns a mobile. He's 11 years old. So most people own a mobile. Lots of people have data plans and lots of people are wasting money. So good use case. So before I go any further, it's not financial advice. What you hear from me here is essentially to corroborate any research that you've already been doing or want to be conducting on BIRDCHAIN. This is just something to cross-reference, okay? This isn't by any means the word of God, although most people think that. So Mexico. So let's carry on. So what are the positives of BIRDCHAIN? So I'm going to do the typical Savage Crypto positives first, talk about why blockchain, then the negatives, and then give the final rating. Okay, so to start us off, mobile users can sell their SMSs to businesses for cryptocurrency. So it's in exchange for cryptocurrency. You're sending them, an allowance essentially. So you can say on the interface, you can send them 1,000 texts or 100 texts that they can use from your plan, and you get paid in cryptocurrency. Now, why is this a pain point? Because if you've never heard of this kind of business, you're probably thinking, well, why is it even needed? Why is there value in this type of business? Well, because the SMS kind of function on a phone is outdated. Lots of people are now using anything from Facebook Messenger to Skype to Telegram Messenger to WhatsApp, that people don't necessarily use text messages anymore. That means that mobile providers can essentially get paid, through their data plans for giving you an enormous allowance. So they are still getting the money, and they can afford to because no one's really using SMSs. So if they give you an unlimited amount, you're probably going to use a very, very small proportion of 1,000 texts, for instance. So SMS as a media is dying. People are wasting money on their SMS plans. They're also wasting a load of SMSs they're never going to send. And businesses need SMSs. They need these application to person text messages so that they can send messages to their customers. Okay, now if you, like me, sign up with loads of websites, you always get these text messages. So you know there's a need for it. So that is the pain. And the solution that BIRDCHAIN are offering is that they are giving you the opportunity to profit from your SMS data plan. Your SMS plan, you can sell portions of your SMS allowance to a business. Okay, now you can earn, on average, about $150 a month. Okay, doing this. Okay, so $150 passive income a month. Now, I've owned t-shirt businesses that made much less than this, okay? So this is a good profit. It's not necessarily amazing profit, but probably better profit that you can get from starting off on something like Steam. You can start earning straight away with this solution. But even better than that is that for businesses, this is a really needed solution, okay? Because they want to save money. Now, in the US, a lot of US businesses find it easier to get SMSs because the data plans are so cheap out there. But other parts of the world, Europe, Africa, some parts of Asia, they have it much more expensive. It can cost them a lot of money. Let's say for instance, 6 cents a text. Okay, now it may not sound like a lot to you, or even 1 cent a text, but over thousands, hundreds of thousands, or millions of users, that costs a hell of a lot of money. So the plan that BIRDCHAIN offering gives these texts 6 times cheaper than you get from the European data plans for business. It's a $65 billion industry in 2018, and this is a unique value proposition in cryptocurrency. No one else is doing this. Dent is somewhat close. That is data sharing and bandwidth sharing, but not necessarily SMS sharing. So this is unique. They've got first mover advantage, and they've already got 2 minimum viable products. They've got one on the client side, one on the mobile end user side. So you can see that they've got some credibility and that there is a big need out there. Now, their penetration strategy is as follows. They're firstly going to be concentrating on Europe, then India, then Africa, and then the Middle East. as far as America is concerned, and Canada and China is concerned, they have decent enough data plans for business. So that's why the penetration strategy is spread across Europe, India, Africa, and the Middle East. So they've got a good penetration strategy, and this is the order that they're going to be going in. What else? So they have got partners to help them deliver a great product. Okay, so partnerships are always important. Now, BIRDCHAIN have been forming partnerships galore. So OKRoot is a data aggregate business which will essentially organize the traffic and display the analytics on the blockchain. So they will give really clear analytics, a bit like how any analytics tool will work. Then you've got Orca, which will help payment of this service in fiat. And then we've got a number of different partners that are going to be rolling this out and using it for the application to person text messages. Verify Union is one of them. They've got somewhat 500,000 students they're going to be rolling this application out to. And then you've got quite a few ICOs and cryptocurrencies that are also going to be using it. And you'll see it on their articles. One of them is Car Vertical, funnily enough. So they've already got some established partnerships before the ICO even started. So that's pretty good. I like that. Now, this is where you can see the size of the opportunity. So it's an 8.8 million market cap straight off the bat. Okay, now this is based on the standard price of 2 cents a coin and multiplied by 441 million coins in circulation when this comes out on the exchange. So 8.8 million market cap, that is the lowest market cap I think I have covered in any ICO that I have covered with you. But with a 20%, which is currently available, the market cap would actually be reduced down to 7.5 million market cap. So even better ability for gains. And they've also got a token burn for all unsold tokens. So they're just going to burn them. So that's going to increase the value of tokens that you get at ICO. Now, probably the most relevant example for multipliers is Dent, because it's in a similar market and it's much needed for cost savings and for stopping people from wasting their money, essentially. So based on where Dent has got to, which is over $1 billion market cap, this would be a 125 times gain just to get up to where Dent is. So it shows you massive potential, such a low market cap. What else? So they've got 22 core members in their team and 4 advisors. Now, just announced today, I was watching their live stream. I even commented on their live stream. And they've announced a superstar, what I would class as superstar team member, who is ex-IOTA. They've also got a lot of breadth and experience. So I'm going to show you the team on their team page, but you can see it's probably one of the best team pages I've seen. I really like it because what I look for when it comes to looking for experienced teams is I look for people that have got over 10 years experience in their particular niche or in their particular job role. Okay, so they have actually listed what experience people have, and I think that's really clear for anybody looking to invest. So they've got the breadth, they've got the experience, they've got literally most bases of a business covered. They've been established 12 plus years. Now, they have been in the application to person market for 10 plus years, but they are established. Okay, they've been around for a while. All right, so that means that you're not just, you're not looking at a cryptocurrency here or a project or a company that have been around 5 minutes and think, oh, how can I just take advantage of this whole blockchain industry? Because everybody's wanting to put stuff on a blockchain. So how do I take advantage? This looks like they've actually thought through how blockchain actually benefits their business versus what's existing out there for normal real world businesses. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then their roadmap, they've got an exchange that they have already organized for when the ICO finishes. They've got their beta coming out in Q3, early Q3, and then they're launching next year in a according to their roadmap, at a what's it called? Conference. Okay, so they're going to be launching it quite nicely in a world conference. So I think that this is also really good for having a great launch, and it's going to have good injections of value over a longer period. So that means it's not going to just appeal to the pump and dumpers. So people shouldn't necessarily be flipping this. So why blockchain? So blockchain essentially is what makes the business model so valuable. Okay, without blockchain, there almost is no business model because billions of SMSs are going to be sent on a daily basis. Billions. Okay, so the way to cut the costs is through blockchain. Okay, because blockchain and fast transactions, and particularly ones that have very low cost transactions, makes the business able to cut the cost down by 6 times for companies. So it kind of needs the blockchain. Without blockchain, can't work. Also smart contracts. So the buying and selling of SMS data is captured with the smart contracts. Okay, so it's an automated process that works nice and swimmingly and ensures customer satisfaction. Ledger transparency. There is no real solution for the application to person market. In which case, the ledger transparency gives that complete brutal transparency and honesty and security as well, because you don't necessarily know if you are getting what you're paying for. The ledger makes it very, very apparent and transparent. And also, they are looking to be transitioning to EOS. Okay, so EOS isn't quite ready, and EOS is looking to achieve 1 million transactions per second. So moving over to EOS could make this even better, even cheaper, and actually worth more. So this is another reason why it could improve the value. So it all sounds good. Am I right or am I right? So let's now talk about the negatives, okay? Because there are negatives. So what are BIRDCHAIN's negatives? So firstly is adoption. Now my worry in this is that it's only for Android users to sell their SMSs. Now I have an iPhone, so I can't do it. Now, the reason why, according to one of the members of their team I spoke to on Telegram, is that the iPhone market is too closed. Okay, the technology is too closed that they can't actually let the technology work. So Android is the only way of being able to allow this business to work. Now, Android usage is comparatively higher than iPhone. Now, I think there are some figures out there that say it's about 80 to 86% of all mobile users are Android, and the other remaining are Apple and everything else. I don't necessarily know if that's true, but I will agree that Android is a much more dominant operating system for mobile users. Also, they are not going to be targeting US and China, arguably two largest economies in the world. So given that they are not targeting Apple, the US, and China, makes me think that the adoption is not as big as it could be. However, having said that, there is a lot of the world out there that they are targeting. So it's really only 2 major kind of continents they're not targeting. And Android is highly used. But that is a cause for concern. It's a new niche, okay? No one else is moving in this field. Now, this has its positives in the sense that this is a first mover and they are essentially creating the demand. They're creating the industry on the blockchain and in the cryptocurrency market. However, don't necessarily know what the potential is. We have to go to something that's very similar like Dent. So that means that it could do really well, or people could struggle at first to see how it does. But given such a low entry point, you can almost take the chance. Team. Now they have got an experienced team. I get that impression. However, they seem to have limited people from either multinational companies or telecommunication companies. Now, if it's working in the mobile field, I would be looking for somebody that's worked for, Vodafone, Sofitel, Orange, any of the kind of European mobile providers, but nobody has. And also, there's not many that have worked in cryptocurrency, except for one that was ex-IOTA. But other than that, there's not a lot of experience. However, I think they make up for this in the breadth and the years of experience they have in their positions, and the fact they're a credible business in this industry. So you've got to kind of take the rough with the smooth, I guess. There's no token rewards. The token itself is a utility. So it's used for payment, so being paid in tokens, for giving or lending, well, really it's giving the data, selling the data, and also the token is used for encrypting the messages. Okay, so when the messages are sent out by a company, then it's encrypted for protection. So that is how the token is used. But the lack of token rewards means that it doesn't encourage people to hold the cryptocurrency. On the positive side, it does mean that it's not likely to be classed as security, because anything that gives dividends or payments just for holding the token could be classed as a security, and therefore could have problems down the line when it comes to regulation. And then lastly, it's an ICO in a bear market currently. Now, by the time the ICO ends and it goes on exchanges, the confidence might have come back up. It could be in a bull run. However, at the moment, only infrastructure cryptocurrencies are holding their value. A lot of the kind of DApps and security payments, finance apps, they tend to do well in a bull market and in an okay market, but during a bear market and when people are kind of snoozing, doesn't tend to do as well as the infrastructure coins. And obviously ICOs are the kind of most volatile and high risk cryptocurrency. So you've got to bear those things in mind. All right, so those are the negatives, and they are relatively weighty negatives. So now to the ratings. So as far as the team is concerned, they've got the breadth, they have got a lot of years experience, and looking at YouTube, they are very active. So I'm giving them 3.75. Now I'm very, very fussy. I look for a range of superstars, not just one, and I look for people that have worked at big organizations, real brand leaders, and they don't have that, but they do make up for it in volume and experience. So for that, with that in mind, 3.75 stars. For project-wise, this is a great income generator for people, and this is an actual pain that's out there. Okay, it's an actual pain, and there's lots of people that have data plans and lots of texts that they can sell for a profit, which ordinarily they'll make nothing from. And currently the centralized world are the ones that are profiting from it. So I like the project, I like the pain point, and the solution makes perfect sense. So therefore it gets 4.25. So pretty good, more than, excellent in my opinion. And so as a final score, I give this a 4-star. All right, so 4-star means excellent in rating. Okay, so my strategy personally is long term. This could go to $3 relatively easily. Okay, especially over the course of time as the pain point is realized. Now, $3 is not a lot for a cryptocurrency with 500 million supply. If we were looking at the billions, $3 is quite tough to achieve unless they can get the institutional money. But 440 to 500 million tokens is much easier to get into the single figures at the very least. And a lot of cryptocurrency that I know have gotten into the single figures with a supply like that. That's why I call that supply the sweet spot and the best for gainers. So that is BIRDCHAIN. So I am going to just show you quickly a little bit, okay? Because I don't want to necessarily spend too much time on this, but this is what the interface will look like for the user. Here are the partnerships, so Car Vertical, Iongo, Bit Rewards, Purple Mines, as well as OKRoot and Orca, and they've got more coming. They have their roadmap here, which looks a bit little quirky. And if you look at the team, you can see here, in fact, this has just literally been updated. You can see here 16 years, 10 years, 9 years. All these people who are, who you want to have some confidence that the team can produce the vision. And so having people that have got years and years of experience is a great thing. Okay, so you can see all the number of years, and you can see the breadth of the team, and you can see the advisory team as well. And this guy here is the ex-IOTA guy. So you can see that they've got quite a substantial team to help them achieve the vision. And then this is the MVP. So they've already got a minimum viable product. So this is normally a bonus when it comes to ICOs, and particularly one with such a low market cap. So this is for the business end. So when you're sending messages out to hundreds of thousands of people, you would put your whatever the company is or the number, and then you would paste a series of numbers into here, and then you just need to select the code really, because you should really be selecting a country. Put the text in there, give the campaign a name, and then send messages, and there we are. Bob's your uncle. And that's how the blockchain really helps with all the massive batches of text being sent. So you can see a really good use case for BIRDCHAIN. So with that in mind, let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. What do you guys think of BIRDCHAIN? I didn't even check to see that you could hear me, so that was probably a little bit of a faux pas. So let me know, yes or no, yes or no. And let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. Lots of people do like BIRDCHAIN. It's got quite an established, yes, fantastic. Wendy's here, apparently. No, 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 no. Yes, no. More, yes. So it's about, I would say it's about 35-65 in favour of no. Which is absolutely fine and good, given there's more now coming in. And it's definitely mixed. It's definitely more 45% now are coming in. Interesting, interesting. So, yeah, so anyway, BIRDCHAIN, if you're interested in it, I like it. I really do like it. And so if you're interested in it, then you can join the ICO right there. Right there. Right. Let's now get on to the best part, okay? This is the part that you've probably been waiting for. So what am I going to do re my long-term coins? So what are my decisions, ultimately? Because a lot of people are kind of looking to me and thinking, Suppoman, you like these coins. What do you like about them? What exactly do you see in them long-term? And so what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be letting you know what my personal view is on them and if I'm going to buy, if I'm going to hold or if I'm going to sell. All right, so first one up is BitDegree. Now, BitDegree is something that I invested in probably on an emotional level as well as a gains level, okay? Because I am obviously a teacher on Udemy, and Udemy I really love, and online education is just getting bigger and bigger, and a lot of my kind of friends are from online education, and a lot of them do ask, can Udemy, can you accept cryptocurrency? And the answer is no. So, BitDegree on that aspect already have an advantage. But Udemy has taken, kind of 6-7 years to get to the size that they are now. They've got about 30 million students, maybe a little bit more, and they've got a ton of courses. And, it's taken them a long time to build up to a humongous valuation that they're worth now. BitDegree has just started, and people are kind of thinking, oh, it should be mooning, it should be mooning. Fact of the matter is, this did 11x straight off the bat after ICO. But then the bears came, attacking down, and people were just selling in droves. And because the FUD was so real, and people were really very sensitive, people are sensitive around bear periods because they want to make as little a loss as possible. And so people jumped ship. And then, of course, people now say, Suppoman, do you think BitDegree is still a really good investment? My personal answer is yes. I hold a lot. I haven't sold any, and I plan to hold it for the long term. Now, this might be longer term than most people are willing to stomach, and that's completely within your decision. Do you want to stick for the long term? Being brutally honest, this could be a few years before it's actually worth 100 times or more investment. Could be a few years, could be sooner. It all depends on how quickly they growth hack. And one of the reasons why I like BitDegree is because they have this smart incentives, which is run on the blockchain, which is essentially a smart contract that pays students for watching content. Now, this exists nowhere. They've also got superstars like Robert Santano, who is previously Coursera, senior He was senior manager at Coursera. Okay, and Coursera is probably one of the top 2 education providers of online courses, and having him on the team is big, and having the guy previously the founder of EA, Electronic Arts, on the team is also big news for BitDegree, particularly when it comes to onboarding new customers and students. And they already have about 30 million students, so they've already got the equivalent of Udemy without even having started yet. So I'm leaving my money in. I am holding this one. So the decision on this is hold. Ethos is next. So Ethos has always been my #1 love. It's always been the one that I'm most proud of. And it's a coin-based killer, and I stand by that. Now, the finishing line is nowhere near in sight. There's still so much value. This has achieved over 286 times initial investment without a product. Okay, the product is coming this month, end of Q1, and this is going to be the way to cash out. okay, in the future, it's going to be the way to cash out. If you've got a ton of Bitcoin or Ethereum or any cryptocurrency, you can hold it in this wallet and you can cash it out via this wallet. You can't do that with anything else. You can't do that with a ledger. With a ledger, you hold your cryptos, but you have to send it back to Coinbase to be able to sell out, okay, to cash out. With Ethos, it'll all be able to be done on one simple app at a low cost compared to Coinbase, which costs a lot of money, okay? So for that reason, Ethos I am sticking with, and I'm sticking with to the flipping end. No word of a lie. I have taken a bit of profit every now and again, but very little. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is a major league cryptocurrency. Coinbase is one of the staples of cryptocurrency, and Ethos is going to replace that. In which case, Ethos is a great long-term cryptocurrency. So again, this is hold. It's a multi-currency wallet with fiat gateway. So it's a hold. That is a killer product, in my opinion. Utrust. Now, Utrust has also come under fire. This went up to $1.16 during the bull run and has now gone down to about 20 cents. Okay, and people are saying, right, jump ship, jump ship. Now, Utrust have been meeting with potential partners like Amazon Pay. They are going to be presenting their product to people in next month, April the 16th, I think, at the FinTech Zero in conference, okay, which is sponsored by Google, sponsored by Facebook, and a lot of the big companies out there. Stripe's another one, payment app. So they're going to be having a platform right in front of the most influential big organizations in fintech. This is a fintech product, and this is going to be a huge launch, essentially. You're going to see it, what it looks like. So the best time to be in is when the price is low, because once the interface is shown, that's when the price is going to shoot up. So again, a hold. WenChain, I mean WanChain. So WanChain was my top pick for 2018. And very similar back to the time when I spoke about WanChain back in, I think it was end of December or beginning of January. No, it was end of December. They hadn't launched yet. The token sale had been already completed for 2 months. And 2 months, nearly 3 months on, it's still not out. Okay, so am I still as bullish? Am I still as excited about WanChain? I'm still relatively excited. I'm less excited now because I think Fusion has come out quicker. It's cheaper. People think that when WenChain is going to come out at $3. I mean, I think that that is a very reasonable valuation, but it would put it nearly 3 times the cost of what Fusion was when I got it. And I think Fusion has better tech. I think it's got its kind of focus on a community is later on, in which case I think that that Fusion has taken a lot of the magic out of WanChain. However, WanChain is still a great investment. I still think it's going to easily 100x either this year or across, you know, the next kind of 18 months. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting some because I wouldn't not want to get the gains on something that I helped build, essentially. So yeah, so I am still going to be bullish on WanChain. Now, the last one, which is arguably the juiciest one. My number 1 ICO final decision. Now, this is a tough one to talk about. Now, if you don't already know what my number 1 ICO is, which I'm pretty sure you probably do know what it is by now because it's been covered ad nauseum by a load of people who wanted to expose what it was. But essentially, it's Zeller. Okay, now a lot of people have said it's Seal, it's Seal, it's Seal. It's not Seal. It was never Seal. People say of Suppoman, why did you say it's Seal when did you say it's not Seal when it is Seal? It's because it's never been Seal. It's Zeller. That is the name of the ICO. And a series of monumental flaws have kind of come out ever since I identified this as such a big potential investment. Now, I personally am a big fan of the technology that they're looking to produce. Okay, now that is the first point. But I've got to be absolutely brutally frank in the fact that there have been things that have happened as a result of this that have made me think this isn't necessarily good right now. Okay, so the first thing is the whitelist. Okay, so when they first started their whitelist, which was a couple of weeks ago now, they used Google Docs. Now, Google Docs is not a bad thing. Arcblock used it, WanChain used it, tons of cryptocurrencies have used it to successful, you know, ends. But because the level of interest in Zeller was so high as a result of what happened to me, and my course, of course. People have been, waiting for that whitelist, okay? And so that they just overran the capacity that's reasonable for Google Docs, okay? They just overran it. So I don't think it was their fault. They didn't even know I was doing all this, okay? They didn't even know I was putting so much because lots of people think that I've been paid by Zeller to promote it. The fact is, never was, and in fact, they didn't want me to. Okay, so they didn't know that they were going to have such an influx of people, such an avalanche of attention. So I don't think that they had the infrastructure ready. However, given this is meant to be a product based on scale and speed and power, I thought that Google Docs was a poor decision. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is the tweet between the Centre of Blockchain Technology and University College London and Zeller. Okay, so they're a partnership that Zeller had put on their website, and the College of Blockchain Technology essentially said, we're not partnered with you. Now, in Zeller's view, they are partnered up, but obviously what's been spread out there is that there is no official partnership, and certainly from the Centre of Blockchain Technology's point of view, there isn't a partnership. From Zeller's, there is a partnership. So with this in mind, I am not going to be investing in an ICO. Now, that's probably going to burn me. I don't know. Might burn me. Blockchain projects do really well, okay? Blockchain projects, even in a bull run, will 2x. ArcBlock did. Zilliqa went about 20x from ICO, and then it went down to 10x, and it's not gone down more than that. So blockchain cryptocurrencies do really well, and the fact of the matter is that to invest in it, you probably will make a massive gain. However, I'm not necessarily confident that after the multipliers have been made, that people are going to stick with it, especially not at the beginning until they prove themselves. In which case, this is a pass from me. This is a what I would class as a controversial pass from me. Because I've essentially built this. I've built it big. But the fact is that I built it too big that it almost couldn't cope. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a pass for now. And this is me just being brutally honest with you. I could say, yeah, go in for it. But I'm being honest here. I'm being absolutely brutally honest. I am passing, and it's up to you. Whatever you want to do is fine by you. So, those are the decisions. Those are, that is my stance on it. And it's literally a case of you deciding whatever you want to do with it. It's up to you. It's up to you. So, I think I'm going to make a move now because this has turned into quite a long live stream. So, if you're interested in BIRDCHAIN, it's birdchain.io. And the MVP is mvp.birdchain.io. And of course, follow me on Twitter, smash the like, smash the subscribe, let me know in the comments, what do you want me to cover? I covered BIRDCHAIN, lots of people asked me to cover BIRDCHAIN, so I have, and the timing was superb. So anyway, so that's that, peeps. Thank you very much for joining me for another episode of Savage Crypto. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. It is lights out, all out.